All right. Post game show. Just gonna be me. Keep in mind that they're either later tonight or tomorrow or sometime next week. There'll be a much bigger, more involved post game show. We're gonna do one for each round, hopefully, but we're gonna do one for the entire tournament. I'll have all the recorded videos. I'll invite people in, and we'll sit back and watch like the top 10 maps or something, battles. Okay, so post game show. Let's just keep this simple. Let's give you the results first, in case you're just checking in, wondering what happened. Today we were playing the Mechwarrior Living Legends 3v3 tournament, and we were in the third place game today. SJ Mostly Heartless versus Wolverines Reborked. Wolverines Reborked, the 2 seed, SJ Mostly Heartless, the 4 seed, and Wolverines Reborked had all of their members. Amazing feat that they had all of their members all the time on all 4 weekends of this tournament. And the SJ Mostly Heartless team normally consists of Kidsin, Architect, and Joey. And today, Kidsin, who's been like just massively outstanding, making all these games, uh, couldn't just couldn't make it. Watched on the stream. It was awesome sauce. But we had sub in Philex for him. And special thanks to Philex for coming in last minute. Philex and I used to play together all the time in this game in numerous battles and stuff. And then the interesting thing was that Architect, who has been just an outstanding team captain in all this, and is the person that got the SG team going to begin with. He and Joey play together all the time, and are awesome sauce. The alarm clock didn't go off. Something real life over video games. So I was extremely proud of the SJ members being able to make it in, but we ran out of luck today. So I was pressed into service. Luckily, we had Direwolf to cover for us in the supervising department. He did an awesome job, just like he did with over half of this tournament, and so I was able to concentrate on just helping with the team and announcing. And then late, Filex had to go because we played 5 or 6 maps today. It was insane because realistically we should have been done in about 2 hours, and I think we were here for just a little under 4. So outstanding games, but the SJ team composition definitely was changed up. Joey is a capable commander, as you'll see as we go through this, and an excellent pilot, but it's always a challenge having to adjust to different pilots. And I'd like to think that Philex, Silvercraft, and I all played well today and gave us shots in all the battles. Wolverine's Rebirth was ready and focused though. How did the teams get here? Let's go ahead and take a look at that here in a second. How did the teams get here? All right. Well, we played a round robin tournament. We played a round robin tournament over the first 2 weekends of this event, where each team plays each team once. Simple enough, right? And each team plays each team once. And so we had 8 teams come in and add let's just say a lot of battles, and you can see all these results. A very ambitious project, but thanks to the coordination of the community, we were able to do it, and that ended up resulting in this at the bottom. And I can tell you there wasn't a bad team on the field. I don't. You look at these scores right here; those are so close to being those scores. And see Fox, Resk, their drop commander, awesome person, one of the best aerospace pilots I've ever seen in this game. The 12th Vegan Rangers, Snow Gibbon and Kentax, and everybody that plays along with them. Veteran pilots, Rick Hunter played with them as well. Dangerous team. The mercenary group, led by Jufos, came together at the very last minute. We had 3 players that wanted to play. They came together and they did a really good job. They were tough opponents. The dev team, people that actually make the game, Invictus and Andrew, um, some of the other guys in there, and tough team. They designed the game, they know how it works. SJ Mostly Heartless, J Falcon Guards playing in the championship. Um, had a few people that couldn't quite make it the first weekend, but they came back and like ran through everybody on the second weekend when they came in. Wolverines Reborked, the other team that you'll see tonight as we go through the review. Wolverines Reborked came in and just surprised everybody. They came in and we knew they'd be a tough team, but my goodness, that was almost undefeated. Okay, like seriously, that one loss, that was almost undefeated, and the Guardians almost undefeated themselves. This is a very interesting story because we have BAA, a pilot that wanted to play, signed up for a team, didn't have team members, so reached out to two people, Batuta and Raven, and they finished first place. That was probably one of the stories of the tournament, were those two teams at the top there. But these were best 2 out of 3, and we invited the top 4 teams to come back. So if you were in the one of these 4 teams, we invited them in, and the plan was last weekend to play this all last week Saturday. Wasn't meant to be. So what we ended up doing was in the semifinals. We'll talk about this one first. Wolverines Reborked and Jade Falcon Guards came in and fought at the start time, so at the regular time, and whew, some close battles, and ultimately came into a situation that the highlight of everything was that the Clan Jade Falcons made a kill. It destroyed one of the Wolverines Reborked members before the time ran out, and then Wolverines Reborked was unaware the time running out, and time ran out, and that was the victory. If it wouldn't have been for that, Wolverines Reborked came back, played one of the most awesome matches I've ever seen, and actually destroyed all of the Falcons. And so we went in and we played a map 4 just to be in case, and Wolverines Reborked was going to put up a good fight. The Falcons came out there and caught Wolverines Reborked out in the open and just rained down missile after missile after missile. And by the time WR was able to get in there, they put up a really good fight. But the Falcons earned their way into the championship there. And in this other one, the 2-1, the first battle on All Shane, a very cold map that doesn't look really too dissimilar than this. Looks like that, like Frostbite. Well, yeah. The first battle was close. Super heavy tanks against super heavy tanks. One of the SJ tanks got stuck for a little bit and took a little bit of fire. And if it would have been for that, it would have maybe been their battle. The BAA tanks were down to single digit stuff, so very close first battle. And the second battle, probably one of the highlights of the entire tournament, the BAA team Guardians decided to take a long tom artillery piece and on a low gravity map versus big heavy tanks again. And the SJ team theoretically should have been able to go in and just probably a good chance for a victory for them, but they fought under a bridge, and it was because of the bridge that the artillery piece had missed 5 straight shots because it was low gravity and they were almost really close hits. Hit the bridge and did an enormous amount of damage to the mostly heartless team, and even with that, they were still able to come in and made it interesting. Almost taking out the artillery piece and then maybe having a chance. One of the other mechs was heavily damaged for the BAA team. But a bridge too far is kind of the way we're going with that. So BAA used some very interesting strategies, got themselves in the finals, and that's what you see right here. They're in the finals. So tomorrow, 18:30 UTC, here on the channel, you'll see them battle for championship and for second place. But we didn't want to send everybody home empty-handed, so we have the traditional third place game. And scheduling, special thanks to WR, they showed up right on time. SJ team showed up right on time, and so we were able to battle. And you can see score 3-1. But let's dig a little further into that. Just so everybody knows, I am the one of the leaders of the SJ organization, Living Legends, and the Mostly Heartless team is led by today Architect and Joey with kids in there. But today I was one of the teammates playing, So let's just this is gonna be a short post game show. I don't have people to talk to right now on there. They tried to stay around, but this tournament took an hour longer than we were expecting today because we played so many maps. So I had to let some people go. So let's walk through this. Let's try and jar my memory. So on the first map, we played Stone Rose, which is desert long range map, and they brought HVAC cannons on the demo, and they brought HVAC cannons on the Warhammer, and they brought a heavy PPC. So they have 4 weapons that can hit out from over a kilometer away, and nice backup weapons and good armor. To counter that, the mostly heartless team brought LRMs, which is 200 meters less than their maximum range. So those HVACs outranged us, and we went to the center of the map to try and control the board like in a chess match. And they saw us, got shots off, and I took a lot of damage. And I was in the Argus. I took a lot of I was in the Hellhound. I took a lot of damage. Our Thanatos took some damage. Our Argus was fresh. But it was a close fight. We ended up closing the distance, and we were able to do a lot of damage to their assets. Particularly, I think the Hollander and the demo were pretty beat up, but then our Thanatos went down along with our drop commander. I went down after spreading more damage. I did my part in that one, and the Argus was fresh and had enough speed to outrun the other assets, but time was there wasn't enough time to utilize the strategy that team member wanted to use, and so that was a victory well earned by WR. But if we go back and look at the videos and the numbers, that was a competitive match. So fun and competitive. That's what we always want to see. So Wolverines go up 1-0. This is a best 3 out of 5, so you have to win three maps. Oh, the Overlord Knight map. So Overlord Knight, I love this map. It's not an opinion everybody holds. Emmy Lightsaber made it. It's great. The thing is, and really, I guess we don't need the post. Why don't I load Living Legends in the background there, and then just have that. That's a map people haven't played a lot, and so we ended up on this by a special request of like 4 or 5 people that wanted the map in the rotation. And another thing quick to keep in mind before I forget, I'm not going to go through the details, but this is what we had to choose from today. You could play on these maps, and these are your C-bill limits to let you know what you're allowed to bring into battle. Okay, and a striking system is used where flip a coin and somebody bans maps until we have 1 map left and 1 C-bill limit left, and then each individual pilot has to use one of these C-bill limits. Okay, so that's how the system works in basic. Oh goodness, the Overlord Knight map. Okay, so their Sunder Prime is short range, except for its 2 long range large beams that can hit out to 900. The Shadowcat C can hit out to 900, and the Chimera C can hit out to 700. So they wanted to snipe. They wanted to fight at medium range, but if we close the distance on them, they're going to do a lot of damage. And no radar. There's no radar here, and they have jump jets. They can jump jet, but that map is a city, and it's really hard to get good sight lines and find the enemy without radar. Hopefully, we have radar on our team. See what we have. Well, we have the same Sunder Prime. Okay, great minds think alike. Remember that there's a C-bill limit, and you usually want to use something good right up to that limit. So that's why you're going to see 2 of these, and then you have the Warhammer Prime. Okay, that's a little bit different. With the same Chimera C, the difference is that we have 30 tons heavier mech, so they have more mobility. But when I was in my Warhammer Prime, I can take a lot of hits. So had I gotten in there, I could have been like a tank charging. And anyway, this just cut to the chase. We chased after each other. We couldn't find each other until about 2 minutes left in the match. We went radar hot. We found them. They found us. They started getting some shots off. We started to close in. My game crashed. And had we been able to get in there and face them, it would have been a very interesting fight. I had enough armor that had I been able to go toe to toe with their mechs, like very, very close range. But as you can go back and look in the video, though, they had a pretty good escape route if they acted quickly. So I'm not entirely my crash stunk. That made it. There was no chance of a victory for either team there. But yeah, we spent 20 minutes getting ready and 15 minutes in a fight that ended up in a tie. So what does that mean? That means that we can't reuse the C-bill limit, so we used C-bill limit 105.70 something. So we used this, so we can't that couldn't be set 6 couldn't be played again, and that map couldn't be played again. And then the rules are a little vague on what specifically we do. Um, in this situation with the tie, who picks the map next? And so the supervisor Direwolf decided to use a system, and we got going after a little bit with that, but we kind of lost some momentum speed wise going into there, just because it's hard to recover from a tie because your thinking strategy is different. So by the time we got to Thunder Rift, everybody was just kind of a little bit getting a little bit sleepy. This was a crazy match. Once, trust me, we woke up once the battle began. But that was definitely a halftime there, if you want to call it that. This was a crazy match. Okay, Bushwhacker F, good choice. Very nice medium range mech that can fight at close range. Hollander Echo, another nice choice. Jump jets, decent radar, and those four LBX2s work at 1.2 kilometers. They work at 5 meters away, and the LBX-20 is just nasty up front. This is the first time in the tournament anybody's done this. They took an APC Prime and trying to keep this as simple as I can. When you start in a game, you start out as a battle armor, and I'll quick demonstrate this on the server because I'm the only one still on the server. So you're not allowed to respawn in this game. If you die in a battle, that's it. That's kind of the fighting stuff for all that. But you end up with a situation. So I'm the battle armor right now. Okay, I'm fighting. I can regenerate my health. If I don't take hits for a while, I'm mobile. I'm hard to hit, but I don't have a lot of armor. If I get hit by a strong weapon, I'm dead. But then you can build something called an APC truck, and that lets your teammates reload ammo. And you can respawn your battle armor from it. So in the tournament rules, you get 3 total lives. So this little dude, I might make a mistake, right, and end up dying, but then I can come back to life 2 times. So Deimos for their team is an excellent pilot of the battle armor, and so that's just a situation. So that's just a situation where that was a smart move by them. If that APC gets destroyed, the battle armor's on their last life. The APC can reload. You can reload ammo from it, so that's the only way you can get unlimited ammo in the tournament. But the APC really can't contribute anything if you're driving it around. I think it has you can shoot down a couple missiles with its turret, but that's about it. So you have to hide that thing, and then the battle armor it can only go 60 kph and has awful radar, like 300 meters at max. So it can take a while to find down your stuff. Let's see what we used against it. Okay, Bushwhacker Foxtrot, same thing. Mithras Delta, fast little car with a couple of weapons bolted on. That's about it. And an Oral Prime for me, a slow moving but extremely heavily armed and dangerous tank at the middle. And in that fight, we saw the battle armor and ran from the battle armor. We were faster than the battle armor, so we ran away. The battle armor kept doing damage to us, and I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but we ran into their team, and we ran downhill straight into them, bam, bam, firing all our weapons. So the whole time the battle armor is destroying the heck out of my tank, and probably should have started shooting at the battle armor, but what are you gonna do? And we get in that battle, and we engage all of our weaponry on Bob and his Bushwhacker Foxtrot there, blow that thing up, and right before I die, I lay some pretty good firepower into the Hollander, and I die in my Oro tank. The Hollander goes down, and so there was like 6 minutes left in the match, and normally the match would be over after like 3 minutes or so, but the tournament was using different rules. So the battle armor had until the match run out to try and kill the 2 enemies, and Deimos really did a lot of damage on his first and second lives. The problem was for him though is that by the time his final life came around, even driving the APC truck around, which has full radar on it, he was unable to find the enemy team, and while they were significantly damaged, it was just a situation. The risk time ran out. The battle armor doesn't count as something that can be used towards victory. Let's call it that. So the first time in the tournament we see BA carrying rules come in effect in 2 straight maps, and so then the score was still 1-0 WR for all practical purposes. So at this point, we're on Forsaken, a very hot map, a very a small map with some stuff, and this was, I think, the turning point for both teams. They brought a Fafnir mech with the two heaviest weapons in game, called the Heavy Gauss Cannon, at 400 meters or under. If that thing hits, it's devastating. Can kill small mechs in a single hit, and even something powerful can take down its armor easy. The Hewitt B was an interesting choice, I thought. Slow, low profile, but it had three large pulse lasers and a Gauss, so very long range there. And the Chimera Echo for jump jetting, 900 meter range with his two LBX weapons, and the rest of it all really good close range weapons. And the two teams normally either fight at close range or they dance around the edge. Well, we had the ability to win this match. Yeah, I'll get to you more on that. That Mars Echo is a beast. It is extremely slow, 30 kph. And but otherwise, if it gets close, those SRMs, those lasers, can do significant damage. My Morrigu used to be one of the most powerful things in the game. Still is. It's one of the premier, most feared things. Still pretty powerful though. I'll get to back on that second. The Puma was there to snipe, shoot over our tops, and get us unstuck if we get stuck. Tanks get stuck in this game a lot. We found them. They found us. We exchanged fire. We blew. Let me figure this out. We blew up one of their things, backed off because I was extremely damaged. Another good map where I spread damage and did what I was supposed to do. Problem is, what it came down to, if you ask me, you see these two high explosive ATM-9s. Those are short range lock on missiles, and I'm not used to using those. I'm used to using the LBXs and something else. And so at the end of the battle, I pulled back because I was one hit from dying and let my other two teammates go. Well, boom, my teammate died. Boom, my other teammate died. And whatever was left, I can't remember if all three of their things were still alive. I can't remember if it was one or two, whatever. But the important thing was they were all damaged, and even with my damage, my tank held together long enough that I was exchanging extremely well with Bob. And had I thought a little bit better or had a little bit better of luck, I could have gotten Bob, and if he was still alive and I could have found him, I could have gotten Damos and his Fafnir. I don't know about the Chimera though. Again, I'll have to go back. It's been a while. Problem was, I stayed out of the fight instead of the longer that thing's alive, the Mars is alive, Joey's alive in that, the better my team had a chance of winning. And I should have gone in. The thing was, half my firepower, even more of that, are these short range missiles. And for the last 2 minutes of the fight, I didn't use them at all. Zip. So we could have won that. But that was the turning point. WR was very patient. He did a very good job of confusing us where they were, dropping back into the fog on that map and going into cover. So we're down 2-1 at that point, and our Philex had to go. Our substitute player. So we brought in Silver after a little bit. We weren't sure we were going to play it. Took a while. I had to take a break after that match, by the way. I had to go contact all of my SGA members and try and get somebody in there to play at a really strange hour. So that took a while to step away and do that. This last one, same thing as the map before. Let's just get into it. That's Forsaken. Did they write down their Forest Valley stuff? They didn't. Okay. On Forest Valley, they had a Thumper assault tank called the Behemoth, which is a lot like that Mars. You get up close, it's nasty. And they had a long-range Ryokan asset, a 55-ton Ryokan, which can battle with 80 tonners, no problem. Can even battle with 100 tonners if it knows what it's doing. They were trying to hit us from extreme range with a weapon on there called a Thumper, which is an artillery piece. And it fires a shell up in an arc, and it hits you. And then they had a Solitaire, and the Solitaire I think was helping the Thumper to know where we were. A very fast thing, but extremely light armored. And Silvercraft came in and utilized the Shadowcat Prime for us. Very fast-moving sniper jump jet thing with can shoot from 900 meters. I was in an Argus Alpha, a very nice 900-meter asset. All of us had a Gauss Cannon. 900 meters, one of the best weapons in game. Short reload time, pinpoint damage, that kind of stuff. and we had some ER ATM 6s on the Daishi. So we had firepower up close and short range. We ran into Bob's Solitaire, and we made Bob did a really good job of having the Thumper do some damage before he went down, but ultimately we were able to get on that. We were up carrying assets. There was, I don't know, 7 minutes left in the match, 5 minutes. We could have disengaged, maybe, question mark, and outran the tank and won it on time. But that's not very sportsmanlike, as our commander said. And I agree with that. So we just set up and cover, and they brought their Ryokan long range lock on missile asset around to battle us, and we were trying to kill that. And while that happened, the Thumper pilot, the Behemoth pilot, was able to get a really strong hit against our Shadowcat, our scout, and did more damage. The commander was kind of unaware until the end that was really damaged. So he sent Silvercraft out to destroy the Ryokan, which was extremely damaged by this point. But we were trying to wait for this tank to get in because we didn't think we could take down this tank unless all three of us were firing on it at once. And well, there and behold comes the tank. And despite the fact that I was fresh, our Daishi was fresh, we unloaded it with everything we had. And it was a close battle, but the tank pilot did an outstanding job. The Ryokan pilot did an outstanding job. And I didn't dodge out of cover fast enough. I just stood there and took it, bam, bam, the hits. And had I not maybe done that, had I maybe a million things in these 3v3s, but we almost forced a map 5 on 2 straight maps. And boy, I tell you, it's fun to watch and it's fun to play. But when you're on a team working with your teammates and trying to win, boy. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I tell you, Wolverine's Rebirth gave us everything we could handle today, and they were an outstanding opponent with excellent strategies. And the maps changed on them at the moment. They actually spent time this week that they had they known. They actually developed extremely good strategies for defeating us today on the old rotation of maps from last weekend. And unfortunately, I didn't get word out that we were changing up to the new rotations today. I think WR would have had some really scary stuff for us. But Wolverine's Rebirth only 1 point away from the challenge bracket from being the #1 overall team, and with as a tough opponent as they come, and for us to hang in there with our sub players today. I hold my head high. I had fun, and that's the reason that I put on the tournament and worked with Direwolf, and I put on the tournament, working with everybody, because this is a lot of fun. And going back, am I disappointed that I wasn't able to contribute? Was I disappointed that I felt like I let us down a little bit? Sure. But when I look back, I think I'm going to realize that for my normal skill level, I played exceptionally well today and did my roles, and we had a lot of fun. So that's just the way it is. You sit there and you play for 4 hours consistently. You're going to get a little bit tired from time to time. And but boy, WR really made us feel like competitive and battling such a worthy opponent was wonderful. And I'm glad, given the circumstances of the pilots that we subbed in today, that we did good. So that's the post-game show. Not much left that I can show you. I'd do video, but that would get complicated. So I think I'll save that for our next post-game show. I've been here for 4.5 hours. I am the Mech Master, bringing you the games as only as I can. The championship game comes tomorrow, 18:30 UTC. Same bat time, same bat channel right here. We'll have the other streams as well. If I get a chance, I'll try to put the other streams in the show notes. And 4 weekends of awesome playing and 6 months of prep. Let's see if we can get this 3v3 finished off in style. Again, Wolverine's Rebirth finishing in 3rd place today by a score of 3-1. 3-1-1. SJ coming up a little short, but hey, we had fun, and 4th place is still pretty damn good. All 4 teams earn the right to be here. MechLivingLegends.net. It is free to keep. Come play it sometime. W-R TeamSpeak. Come say hi there. Organized gameplay every weekend, hosted by Direwolf, Carbonell, or myself. Be sure to check us out. This has been Duelist. I've been talking for 4.5 hours, so I'm going to get off again. Wolverine's Rebirth, 3rd place. SJ. 4th place. Tomorrow, championship. BAA Guardians versus Clan Jade Falcon. This is the Mechmaster bringing you the games as only as I can. Good night, and we'll see you. Lots of post game coming up. Be sure to check out the channel later this week. Bye, everybody.